Okay. So a little Ukraine update here. Apparently, we have some demands from inside the negotiations. This is via Patrick Revel, and this was posted
This morning,
recently. They've been talking about sorting this thing out and potentially having it be over. I mean, it'd be nice if it was over, but I don't know about these particular demands. They seems like, I mean, it's what the whole thing's about. It's what the whole conflict is about. Anyway, here's what the Kremlin says. Ukraine must change its constitution to guarantee it won't join any blocs, which by that they mean things like NATO or the EU. So any powerful groups, conglomerates. They must recognize Crimea as part of Russia. That's demand number 2. And Ukraine must recognize the eastern separatist regions as independent. So the original regions that were in dispute.
Donbass region.
Yeah, that's one of them. And then there's a name for the other region there. We might as well get it now that you've decided to label them.
Well, Donbass is like the main region, but there's 2 regions that's like
two regions inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luhansk and Donetsk.
So you don't even want to look it up. You want to go on the record. If that's fine. You go on the record, Willie D. You're on fire today ever since you switched to T. Yeah. And I fully support you. You seem really confident in the regions here.
I just don't know how to pronounce it, these 2.
Oh, Luhansk.
Yes.
And Donetsk. Donetsk, Luhansk, Donbass. Yes. We got it all. We got it all in there.
Yeah, we solved it.
So anyway, so those regions, that was a cool map, actually. Leave that up for a second. So you can see the location, the little map over there on the right. You can see the location of Crimea, and you can see the section that's currently in dispute. So that would be their demand. You recognize the island region there, Crimea. You recognize that as Russia officially, because even that, we were talking about Apple Maps the other day, booting Crimea from Russia and putting it back as part of Ukraine everywhere else in the world other than Russia. So apparently the dust has not settled on that particular annexation of that region. And then the other regions up there, which are kind of, so the way to think of this is a movement. Russia would love to see a movement of its border to the west. And it would obviously give it a little bit more of a strategic position as far as the waterways are concerned over there. Mm-hmm. Because you got the Black Sea below Crimea there. And I presume that there would be some strategic advantages to that. I don't believe that these demands are going to be met, particularly the part at this point about not joining NATO and the EU. They've been trying to fast track there. They want to do it even more now, post. Mm-hmm. Kremlin spokesman Peskov told reporters that these positions have been put to Ukraine ahead of the talks today. Okay, so let's just play a little bit. Let's do our own negotiations here, Will. No, I'm just saying, because you see this list here. Let's say Ukraine goes in, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you know how negotiations work, right? You go in with a set of requests or demands. I don't know, you have to call it demands. And then they come back with a counteroffer. Mm-hmm. So let's imagine Ukraine's counter if they would agree to even one of these things. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm not saying that Russia would go for that, but maybe you think they'd give up Crimea and just say, okay, we'll fully, Crimea is yours. We fully recognize. Mm-hmm. Or like, what about this? What about Crimea and the eastern separatist regions, but we still want to join NATO? Or what about this? Let us not give up the eastern regions, but we'll never join NATO.
Right.
I mean, I don't think any of these are really negotiable, to be honest, because they're all kind of part
very
and parcel.
Absolute.
Yeah, they're all connected too, as well, but it'd be interesting if they just said, hey, Crimea is yours, the separatist regions are yours, but we really want the rest of Ukraine to get in tight with EU. Mm-hmm. Then Putin's like,
I'll think about it.
Scratches his chin. But I don't think, see, even that doesn't go. None of it goes. He wants all of those. None of it goes because the NATO thing was what started all this. The NATO thing, the speed up on the NATO, the whole increase in interactivity there between Ukraine and the West. That's what caused the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think any of those things are flexible. But anyway, whatever. Negotiations are better. At least there's some kind of channel of communication.
Yes,
I don't know.
as long as they're meeting. I think this is their third meeting. Maybe today or tomorrow.
It's so crazy and it's so strange to think about these conversations happening in the midst of the violence ongoing. And it's like this seemingly civil negotiation going on with the backdrop of bombs and shells and buildings being torched.
And you're talking about these two superpowers, like these presidents or prime ministers, just together in a building.
Actually, I don't think it's the prime ministers meeting up.
Oh, they're not?
No. It would be they would send somebody. It's too risky, right?
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So they stay put, but they send the minister or they send the representative.
They can't do a Zoom call or something.
I mean, I guess they could.
They could, right?
But I think there's actual people who are
Ambassadors?
that they can send that are
Negotiators?
versed in this task and then can report back and then can. I think having an intermediary is not such a bad thing, right? With tempers and emotions and things like that. Somebody who sending somebody who is tasked with this specific thing.
Yes.
Who may have a particular skill set that makes them good at that. But that doesn't mean negotiations can't break down. They can still break down.
Oh, for sure.